Hello, and welcome to my second edition of End Particles in Autodesk My 2009. Now, I'm just going to recommend that you click Watch in High Quality below the YouTube video here. That'll allow you to see what I'm clicking on and what I'm selecting a lot easier. So, anyway, to get started, we're just going to create like a scene of basically a snowstorm or hail, whatever you prefer. And to start off, we're just going to drag a simple plane onto the grid. And you can resize that on a center line by changing the translate options and make it an exact square. Now you don't have to, whatever your scene prefers. And now I'm just going to hit the 5 key to shade that. Alright, now we're done doing that. We're just going to drag it up above the grid here, and should be good enough. Alright, the next step is to go up to your toolset here and click End Dynamics. Remember, not Dynamics. Alright, now you have that selected. We're going to go up to End Particles, and we're going to drag this toolbar out here. Alright, so now you have your plane selected here, and make sure you have balls selected as well. We're not working with any of the other ones because balls is probably more proper for hailstone, snow, whatever you want to do. So now we're going to create emit from object. Alright, so now watch what happens when you click play. You notice the balls are emitting from the 4 corners of the object. Now, in order to prevent that from happening, go to the end of your time slider and click on emitter type and change it to surface. Alright, now watch what happens when you click play again. Alright, notice they're emitting from everywhere, which is pretty much more realistic. But in order to increase the animation, we're going to change the option here, the time slider option, and we're going to make it about 1,000. Alright, now watch what happens. Alright, that's pretty good. Pretty neat. Alright, now you notice that all the balls are colored. Now, if you don't want that, you want them to look more like hailstones, which are white. So what we're going to do is click on them, X out of this for now, and we're going to go to shading right down here. It's one of the tabs right underneath emission attributes, shading. So now we're going to scroll down and notice under color you have it set for randomized ID. Now I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to click this, and we're going to X out of the blue color, and now we're going to have a solid red color. You notice it changed on here, and you can click on here and select white, and now they look more like hailstones. So that's a way you can change your end particle color. Now I'm sure you're going to have objects in your scene, so we're going to create just a simple box. Now, objects with more resolution will take a longer time to render, and it may slow the hailstone animation down a bit. So notice when you click play that the objects are going right through, the hailstones are going right through the object. So in order to prevent that, we're going to go up to top and mesh, create passive collider. Alright, now watch what happens when you play that again. The balls are hailstones are bouncing off pretty nicely. It's pretty neat. Alright, now you can actually change the bounce and the friction of the hailstones, say when they land on the object here. Alright, in order to change that, you're going to click on the hailstones here. We're going to put this away, and we're going to go to collisions. Alright, under collisions you can change the bounce, friction, and stickiness of the hailstones. So if you make it a bigger bounce, let's say 10, watch what happens when I click play. Oh, what's going on there? Alright, so you can't make it more than never mind, sorry. Yeah, before was working. I just couldn't see it. It was hard to tell. Yeah, see? They're all bouncing out of the into outer space. So you wouldn't want to make it that high. For this project, it was probably good where it was, like about 0.8, 0.9. We're going to keep it at that for now. And you may want to increase the friction a little bit, just so the hailstones don't roll once they hit. Alright, and you can also change the stickiness. But now, we're just going to add a little wind into our scene, which is pretty neat. But before I do that, I'm just going to show you how to change the particle size to make it more randomized. Now, under particle size, you have the radius scale. And this little option here will change the size from whatever you choose to, from the maximum size you choose to the minimum. So you wouldn't want to make them that small, but that seems pretty good right now. You can change that and change the maximum value to the minimum value. And look how it changed on the grid here. Alright, now I'm going to show you a little bit about the Nucleus node. Now in order to access the Nucleus node, you have to go into your attribute editor and click on Nucleus 1. And what you can do in the Nucleus editor is change the gravity, air density, wind speed, etc. But for now, I'm just going to show you what changing the gravity does. Now, if you make it a higher gravity, the object will go a lot faster. See? And if you make it lower than 9.8, the default value, the objects are going to act like they're in outer space or under the moon. On the moon, sorry. Or underwater, for instance. Kind of looks like bubbles. Alright, so for now, since we're working with a normal environment on ground, we're going to select it to the default of 9.8. Alright, now we can make it look more like a storm or something by changing the wind speed, in fact. You can move that up a little. Now that looks pretty good. You can see how they're all going towards the X axis. Now you can also change which way you want the direction going by going to the options here. Alright, now I'm having it going in the X and Y direction of 1. And if you forget which way, which axis is which, you can see right in the corner here. There's a little reminder. Alright, so it's basically all I wanted to show you about end particles and emitting from an object. So you can go ahead and try that out yourself. Any suggestions or comments you may leave for me, and that's pretty much all. Thanks.